Finally back on the ship. Welcome to the bridge, Lord Captain. Like the rest of the crew, we are overjoyed by your return and thank the Emperor for it. The crew stares in awe and terror at the giant towering over the crowd. Some make the sign of the Akula on their chests, others collapse to their knees with a prayer to the God Emperor on their lips. This wave of pious shock does not seem to discompose Ulfar in the slightest. He just chuckles into his beard and glances around curiously. Shireen, light of my eyes, I am overjoyed to see you among us once more. Truly, the Exalted One is merciful for showing you the way back home. I hope all the ashmags who left us to languish without our Lord Captain have already become food for the warp demons. Jay twirls a lock of hair around her finger and sends a fire gaze your way, which she immediately hides beneath her lowered lashes. I do hope we will get a chance to have a conversation in private very soon. For now, however, I dare not to steal any more of the rogue trader's precious time. How generous of you. I was expecting a more romantic thing, since we have a flair with her or whatever. First off, how much do you know about my abduction? Where was my ship all this time? At an officers' council, we decided to take the ship to Footfall, where one can hear the gossip of the entire expanse. Our agents tirelessly searched for information about your lordship. Had we heard even a whisper of where you were imprisoned, we would have immediately launched a rescue expedition. While you were away, Lord Captain, we took every effort to find you. That resulted in a number of modifications to the ship that have significantly upgraded it, thanks to a favorable deal made by the esteemed High Factotum. The ship is now equipped with state-of-the-art ogre systems and direction finders from Kiavagama. Enough empty talk. Your master is waiting for a proper celebration. Or, that is quite enough fawning and fussing. I wish to return to my duties. First off, how much do you know about my abduction? We'll just celebrate. We begin at once, your lordship. Glory to the rogue trader, glory to House von Vilencius. Your subject's triumphant roar sends a tremor through the bridge. It's as though the ship itself is greeting its long-lost owner. Well, that is the case. The factotum smacks his lips awkwardly and adds in a quieter voice, Your lordship, the senior officers will report to you shortly. In your absence, we received a number of astropathic messages and dispatches that demand your attention. Of course. The group of servitors suddenly stirs, their movements frighteningly identical even for automatons. They stare at you and say in perfect unison, Hello! Numos have come to welcome you back. We sense that a great deed has been done, a vivid imprint on existence. You did something very important. What was it? I triumphed over the enemies of humanity by putting the arch-enemy's blight against that of the Xenos. One day they will all fall before the sacred flame. For now we can be satisfied with having enemies of Terra destroy one another. Did Numos say it correctly? The servitor chorus, which sounds as a single voice, falls silent. Numos appears to be waiting for your response in eager anticipation. I am glad that you are learning to understand me, Numos. Your curiosity deserves approval. A servant should... we'll just go with number one. After a long pause, the servitor chorus responds with an unexpected forcefulness. Numos are glad too. We must go now. We will come to speak with you later. Another pause follows, so long that the silence becomes more piercing than a scream. Then the servitors finally break it. We are glad to see order restored to the head of the dynasty. Resume his reign. We were concerned about you and your well-being. One can detect with the naked eye that the moment when Numos leaves the bridge, the servitors stop moving in sync and slowly shuffle off to their posts. Hmm. Your Lordship, I must report highly compromising information about a member of your retinue, namely Mistress J. Hidari. Again, I have a thing between them. Who it turns out is nothing more of the sort, but a commoner, a fugitive from the law, and a deserter from the Imperial Guard. I have solid evidence for it. This evidence had better be incontrovertible. The factotum bows and holds out a data slate to you. It is all here, your lordship. Official records from the Administratum, attestations from the Departamento Monitorum, and much more besides. I want to know the details. I may have overlooked some nuances, but I have solid evidence that the person whom we presently know as J. Hidari served in the 19th Ifrit Regiment, and was identified as the perpetrator of numerous instances of theft and smuggling, as well as desertion, and this individual is not of noble birth, but of the lowest origins. How did you come to know of this? In your lordship's absence, the person whom we presently know as J. Hidari made a concerted effort to find you. After contacting all the coal traders in the sector, Hidari approached us an individual by the name of Mercy, a highly influential and infamous figure in the Kazbalika mission. He was paid an eye-watering sum directly from your own coffers. Fearing that the predatory interests of the Kazbalika would pose a threat to your coffers, I began my own investigation. It was entirely reasonable to suspect collision of some kind between Hidari and Mercy, and so my suspicions were confirmed. The two were connected. It was from Mercy's associates that I acquired the compromising intelligence on Hidari. I wish to see J. Hidari. We have something to discuss. Shopped me, did you, little wannabe quistor? Jay's voice and bearing undergo a stark transformation. Bidding soldier slang cuts through her typical gentle speech. Don't miss a thing, your servants, Magnus. And they're sneaky as too. They'll climb up a Grox's arse to find out what they want to know. I think we need to talk about your past. Only if the scum slings his hook. Jay nods at the now much paler Dan Rook.
Well, your lordship, ask away. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to try to wriggle out of it.
So, tell me your story. Real
So
story.
what do you want to hear, Shireen? A children's tale about a beautiful princess? A ballad about the Queen of Thieves? How about a new story, Shireen? Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock, and the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. The girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs, on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. She did this every day until she turned 16, and then his servants came and drafted the girl into the 19th Ifrit Regiment. Can you imagine? Of course, the regiment was wiped out on its first sortie, but the girl survived. The Exalted One protects. So what was next? Years serving in the Astra Militarum, just a shitload of hard labor, and fighting, and deals, and shady connections, and new opportunities. But everything in this world ends sooner or later, Shireen. The now not-so-little girl went and fell in with the Kazbalika. She saved up a little gold, and she even indulged in excess from time to time, until living the good life almost cost the little girl her head after her patrons got caught in an internal investigation between the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitorum. So the girl ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, until her eyes and the beams of fortune brought her to the expanse. A shitty story, all things considered, Shireen.
Do you have a family?
The folks on Footfall are my only family, Shireen. The trickster twins and the rest of the rabble, plain-talking and loyal as dogs. And sometimes as dull as the pommel of a worn-out blade.
So you used to be in the Imperial Guard.
Corporal Haydari reporting for duty, sir. I've had enough of the Astra Militarum shit to last a lifetime, Shireen. And my body's collected enough souvenirs from run-ins with Xenos and heretics to last 2 lifetimes. Except, when it comes to the Guard, there's no such thing as used to be. That wretched life sank its claws into me good. But that also means I remember what it's like to be a small, shaking, insignificant pawn. And that's why I appreciate what I have now all the more.
How did you get involved with the Kazbalika?
What? You think it's difficult? Once me and my fellow guardsmen snuck into the upper city in search of a good watering hole, where the high and mighty of that world congregated. Another time, our regiment was sent to defend the tallest spires on a hive world. And I had an epiphany. I saw how the other half lives. And by half, I mean the ones born with a diamond spoon in their mouth, instead of an entrenching shovel rammed up their arse. My eyes were open to the truth, Shireen. The Imperium is full of opportunities, even for people like myself. The trick is knowing whose palms to grease, whose boots to lick, whose throat to squeeze, and whose arses to kick. I was very popular with everyone in the Guard Command, you see. I'd procure things for them, whatever they wanted. And so the Kasbalika took notice.
Interesting. So you're a deserter as well?
You know, Shireen, I could still be bouncing around from one world to another, holed up on tired old ships with only venal bronze for company, if I hadn't decided I wanted more for my life. I accepted a shipment from the Kasbalika of certain chemicals. For carnal pleasures and the like. Some bigwig was throwing a party to celebrate his 5th decade in the service. And that's when I got the attention of the newly arrived commissar. I was rummaging through the pockets of Astra Militarum with one hand, and shoveling the Kasbalican cargo with the other. You can imagine what would have happened to my head had the commissar not started with my higher-ranked patrons.
That explains the lung implant, but what about the hand?
It was orcs. Not everything I say is a lie, Shireen.
I see.
Whoop the fu- Never mind.
Whoop de fucking do, huh? After what I've heard, the thought of keeping you by my side makes me sick. Nah, she's fun. Let's keep her around. Did you really look for me? Were you hoping to save me?
It's not as if I could just abandon you. Even smugglers have principles and feelings. Unfortunately, all I managed to do was spend a pile of your trons without anything to show for it. None of the operatives who do business with Xenos knew where to find him. Not even Mercy. I shouldn't have reached out to him. He helped me move to the Expanse and set up business here a long time ago. But I liked it better when he was safely in my past.
Have you never once wanted to tell me the truth? I am more than just your patron after all.
Not once, if you can believe it. By the way, Shireen, I'm not really a princess. I'm filthy underhive scum, and I've been lying to you the whole time. I would have been flung out of your bed so fast, it would take my scream a few seconds to catch up.
You never know. Why did you not tell me the truth immediately? I mean, she kind of just told me, right? But sure, let's go ahead.
For the same reason that anybody lies. I want people to like me. I want to attract them, not repel them.
I cannot judge you. I too would prefer that my beloved see me as a prince rather than underhive scum. I insist on absolute honesty between us from here on out.
Sorry, but no. We have made no vows over water, and I never made any promises to keep my heart open wide before you. I have, and always will have, my own past, and my own life, and I see no reason why you should lay claim to them. But I do promise that my secrets will never cause you harm.
Okay. About your new persona.
Are you worried I'm going to start spitting on the deck and shriveling your officers' ears with my foul tongue? Don't be, Shireen. I much prefer being seen as a princess rather than a deserter. I'll continue to play the part in front of the others, but you wanted to talk frankly, so I've dropped the act.
Think we have covered everything. Return to your duties. We have an option to kill, and we have the option to remove her from our presence. I was expecting a more romantic line somewhere here.
Sir, yes, sir. Your lordship, Shireen. I'll be here, all primed and ready to go.
Okay. Well. Now then, Lord Captain, shall we get to business? We have a number of items to go over. Let's just fix the camera here. The Expanse is in flames, your lordship. Squadrons of smaller groups of despicable Drukhari raid our systems. The cult of the Final Dawn has emerged in full force, wreaking havoc everywhere. We've heard rumors of the fall of Santil's Pride, House Corda's world, an outrageous sacrilege, given how abundant and inexpensive Promethium is there. Strife has broken out between House Winterscale and House Corda. Chaos reigns everywhere. Only the esteemed Lord Inquisitor is trying to fight it, concentrating all available forces at footfall to tighten them into a fist to smash the rampaging heretics and Xenos vermin. How fare the worlds of my dynasty? The heretics' malicious acts make it difficult to maintain astropathic contact with the colonies. The cult of the Final Dawn strikes everywhere, and their sleeper agents are active on every planet. On Viobos 6, a mutiny was crushed after a group of newly arrived prisoners succumbed to blasphemous propaganda. But other worlds stand firm against the onslaught of the enemies of humanity and do not succumb to their pernicious influence. So Xavier Calcazar led the defense. Exactly. The esteemed Lord Inquisitor Calcazar declared himself commandant of the Coronis Expanse and issued orders to requisition troops. He made Footfall his base of operations, as it was the most logistically convenient point. From there his fleet strikes throughout the Expanse, destroying the forces of the cult of the Final Dawn, and the abominable Drukhari. He may be all that currently stands in the way of the Expanse being turned into ashes. When heretics laid siege to Euphrates II, a hollowed forge of the Cognizance fleet, the Lord Inquisitor sent an enormous force. Now they and the explorator squadrons recalled from the front lines stand together against the heretics in the battle for the sacred planet. What is the problem between Incendia and Caligos? When the esteemed Lord Inquisitor called upon the rogue traders to join his forces, her ladyship Incendia Corda heeded the summons, while his lordship Caligos Winterscale ignored it. Rumor has it that his refusal was defiant in manner, and served as a pretext for Lady Corda to declare war on House Winterscale. Winterscale's ships are being hunted and his worlds occupied under the pretense of compelling them to submit to the Imperial Creed. Surprisingly, for all his love of fighting, Winterscale is in no hurry to defend his domain. According to intercepted astropathic messages, he and his retinue are currently on Questa Temere, hunting down a Xenos fleet. All dairy by all appearances. What kind of Xenos are attacking the Expanse? Jukari, your lordship, their squadrons, both large and small, are invading the Expanse, unleashing carnage on planets, taking captives by the thousands, and attacking ships. It is as if something has poked their nest, if you will, and now they are lashing out. Well, yeah, that was me. Is there anything else I should know? There have been other minor developments. If you wish, I will gladly bring you up to speed on the bridge. I would not want them to take any time away from this occasion. Thank you. Report received. Lord Captain, allow me to make a request, a personal one. While you were away, Zachary received an astropathic message from Darkonis. It concerns my family. The Wersurians have been accused of betraying House von Felicius. How is this possible? I cannot comprehend it. The Wersurians have served the Rogue Trader dynasty loyally for generations. This is hard to admit, but I am simply crushed by the news. The accusations were leveled by or on behalf of the Drivestems, the governor's family. Under normal circumstances, the investigation would not have required your involvement, and my entire family would have been... But being of noble stock, the Wersurians are entitled under an ancient custom to petition for a rogue trader's personal protection once in a generation. Your personal protection, Lord Captain. Abelard raises his eyes at you. Do not deny us that honor, I implore you. I will personally take part in the investigation. Abelard breathes a sigh of relief and seems to grow an inch or two taller. Will do, Lord Captain. The Exalted One bless the house of von Valentius for your largess of spirit, Shireen, and thank you for deigning to speak with me. Here's the thing, Shireen. My network of trade representatives have been stretched a little too thin recently, like a chiffon dress on a whore. Supplies are all over the place. Orders aren't being filled, clients are kicking off, and not without reason, and revenues plummeting. And if it wasn't bad enough, my guys running things from Footfall have been incommunicado recently, and an astropathic message has finally come in to tell me why. Some ashmag or ashmags, Throne Smite them, has captured my gang, and they're threatening to kill every last one of those hard-grafting whelps if I don't do what they want. And they want one thing, my Mercatum Tabula Officiale, in exchange for my gang's lives. But I'm not giving up my certificate for anything, and nor am I going to leave my guys high and dry. That is why I'm begging you for your help and protection, Shireen. If I have to step into a cage of hyenas, I'd rather do it with a lion at my side. When we reach Footfall, I will help your associates. I look forward to that day, Shireen, and praise be to the Exalted One for bestowing such a miserly portion of haughty indifference upon your heart. All the followers are funneling in to give us their side quests, so... Magnus, I apologize for barging in unannounced. I have received news that I must discuss with you face to face. You may recall that I mentioned that Achilles calendar was transferred into my remit by a colleague. The colleague in question has contacted me. She requires my immediate assistance. Who is this colleague? Emiliana Leichenhart, sage to the Lord Inquisitor. I believe I have a clear picture of Emiliana now. What was her message? Emiliana's message is incomplete and distorted. It is impossible to make sense of every word. The only thing we know for certain is that an acolyte of the Inquisition is asking me to go immediately to Futon 4, a remote planet. In her message, she seems to be requesting either military support or help with an evacuation. But whatever precipitated this request, Emiliana would not make it if it weren't absolutely necessary. I know a rogue trader has more than enough other matters to deal with. Nevertheless, I would like to officially request the Lord Captain's assistance in the dealing with this issue. I have no authority or demand anything from House von Valancius. Therefore, I am confining myself to a request for the sake of the Coronis Expanse and the Imperium. I shall help you. We shall go to Futon 4 and put an end to this threat. Thank you, Lord Captain. I am confident that this minor deviation from our primary course will help to stem the spread of anarchy in the Coronis Expanse. If only slightly, at the very least, we won't be outflanked. I have already spoken to the navigation crew and provided them with the coordinates of Futon 4. We can set a course for it as soon as you give the order. Alright, that was a lot of reading. I will do a few things and then save and call it a day. We've been going for solid 12 hours. So, hold on, shit. In order for me to mix up later, I'd like to name this the start of chapter 4. Like so. And then do the levels, check the vendors, do a few loose things here and there on the ship, because I will forget the next time I start the stream. So, we have a lot of quests. Most of it is companion related. Darkonis for Abelard, Jay at Footfall, Heinrichs. Nothing here. This is Numos, I think. This is a bug of some sort. Go to the Quetzra Timur. Okay, that's the winter scale stuff. Footfall. We have nothing new here. We need to speak to this guy. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? I wish to hear news about the Protectorate to keep apprised of things. One-way road. We discovered a world that is home to a long-abandoned colony, founded centuries ago by one of your predecessors. A ship was sent there, carrying several thousand colonists who were to restore the derelict settlement. After the ship entered the system, contact was lost with it, and its fate remains unknown. Perhaps you might like to investigate the disappearance of that vessel personally. Besides, your lord, pirates have been a serious problem for your domain. For centuries, a group of bandits, headed by a ship called the Elusive Contempt, has been raiding cargo vessels on their way from the Protectorate's most plentiful extractia. Their ability to deftly escape pursuit by patrols has allowed them to operate with complete impunity. The pirates' flagship has been spotted in a nearby system. Your ship, Lord Captain, is sufficiently powerful to finally chase down these brazen scoundrels and bring them to justice. This is a side quest, void ship combat thing that we could do to further level our ship. The Astropathic Choir has received a series of alarming messages concerning the Narmer 4 system, where a dangerous space anomaly has supposedly manifested itself. Its nature is unknown, but the fabric of space within the system is reported to be curved and unstable. It is said that any ship entering the region disappears without a trace. I believe we ought to be prudent and steer clear of that system. There's something else, Lord Captain. The ship's astropaths have caught echoes of alarming messages. Unidentified ships abandoned by their crews have been spotted in several systems on the Expanse. It may only be a rumor, but those who encountered them have gone missing without trace. That is all, your lordship. Okay. Let's check the factions real quick. Can we get some more stuff from you? Grab whatever we can. Torpedoes. Okay. We have access to these, but we don't have the profit factors yet. But in this chapter, we could kick it up quite significantly if we do things right. So, these guys also have new items. Iconoclast. We'll grab it, but I'm not going to use it. These boosts grant the wearer 15 dodge reduction bonus for attacks with melee weapons. Grab all the medkits. And an okay piece of armor. Not super amazing. For a medium piece of armor, it has high armor. And it gives us dodge and a bunch of other stuff. You can maybe give it to Heinrichs or something. There is a dodge penalty, isn't there? Yeah. Okay. Well, we have access to a flamer. A light piece of armor. But for melee guys, I think. Better medkits. An officer or commissar hat or pendant. Whenever the wearer uses a non-attacking consumable, it counts as an attack different from for the sake of versatility. Also, this combi tool gives a 50% chance that a consumable will not be spent when used. We can give this to Ulfar. The wearer deals an additional psi rating warp damage with their melee attacks. This could be given to Heinrichs. Whenever the wearer suffers a critical hit, their dodge and armor is reduced until the end of combat. Wow, this is pretty significant. This is like an ultimate from Pascal, pretty much. A way better fucking plasma gun that we can give to Pascal. The wearer gains immunity to effects depending on the number of annealing beacon. This is for vanguards. Immunities to burning, toxin, bleeding. We'll be fine without it. Medium armor. A hat for Ulfar. Focused around burning. Heavy weapons. Okay, this is the one I want. If I want to continue using heavy guns, and I think I'm liking the playstyle. We don't need more fires. If the wearer did not spend movement points during their turn, they double the cover efficiency and gain immunity to the forced movement effects until the end of the wearer's turn. Not that amazing. The sword ignores deflection. Wow. Okay. This is pretty nice. Initiative in combat. So, wow. We can give this to maybe our main guy. Replace the injector or something. We'll see. The wearer can spend all their movement points to move to the anti-cell within movement range. This movement does not trigger attacks of opportunity. At the end of movement, the wearer automatically performs a melee area attack with their primary weapon against all adjacent enemies. Okay. Maybe a charger assassin thing. When in cover, the wearer has 100% cover efficiency, but never dodges them. Also, they suffer 50% less damage from area attacks whenever the wearer uses a grenade and hits at least 3 enemies at once. For the first time in combat, this action does not spend action points. That's alright. I don't have a grenader. Dogmatic Zealot. The wearer cannot fail any willpower or toughness tests while in combat. 15% armor if the wearer's toughness is more than 70. Pretty nice. A amazing flamer. Sanctic staff with 20 willpower. Where's the navigator staffs? Something for Pascal. Once per round, the wearer gains 2 action points and 2 movement points on the current turn if they kill an enemy, and more strength. A lot of armor, deflection, but there's a dodge penalty. So if you're a melee Pascal, I think this would be amazing. And this is what we want, I think. Maybe it's better for two-handers. Or is this for Ulfar? I'm not quite sure. We shall see. So we need to somehow max our reputation with these guys. 29. That is a lot of reputation you guys are asking for. What about here? I remember this. We get more armor based on our tech use. Less action points needed to reload. This is what I used on Pascal on my first playthrough, and I think I'll stick to it. We have also a decent and amazing, actually, plasma gun. An armor for Ulfar. Flamer for him also. Axe for Pascal. Another amazing piece of armor. 30% dodge. Carouse gives me deflection. The wielder gets 3 charges of hollow field at the start of combat when the wielder suffers 1 charge of the... Okay. The wearer uses willpower for dodge test instead of agility. So you could respec Heinrichs. Maybe. Whenever the wearer dodges an attack, they gain 1 side ring until the end of... Wow, okay. So if we want to turn Heinrichs into a more psychic guy instead of a melee dude, this would be great. I remember they had amazing stuff also here. This is cool, but you have to be practically naked. You got to take all your armor off. This is like the best light armor in the game, I think. So many options, and I don't know of a way to... Oh yeah, the best heavy bolter in the game also is from them. I don't know of a way to max everything at once, but I'd like to pick a few things with these guys. So 13. I could pick the heavy flamer. Not the good stuff, unfortunately. How about you guys? I should be able to trade a lot of things with them. 19. Holy crap. Two movement points. Oh yeah. Okay, this is good. Give this to no one actually, but fuck it. I don't have access to the stuff I wanted. However, we could still pick up everything. So I'm gonna do that. because it's free. Okay, Arch Militant's boots. Or get knocked prone. Okay, cool. A good shotgun, but we don't use those. Yeah, okay. Usually you have to choose between these two because they share the same resources. I'm pretty sure they have good stuff, but I just never bothered with them. This is nice for officers or master tacticians. This is cool. If you're more of an assassin, you might want to pay attention to them. Yeah. They even have stuff if you recruit Xenos in your party. You only have 2 options really, and yeah. Navigator staff, finally. It's kind of what I was looking for anyway. I thought they had a navigator staff. Apparently not. What about them? This is a better fire staff, I think. Really? No navigator staffs? Oh. There we go. 20 perception, 15 willpower. So we need to get to 25 with them. We're pretty close. Telekinesis, not my cup of tea. Alright. So that takes care of that. And as far as I know, I don't need to talk to anyone. We will quickly do our levels, manually save, and call it a day for now. I'd like to go with toughness, even though, because willpower, we have stuff that just bumps it up easily. However, we don't have a lot of things that help us gain toughness, like our necklaces and whatever. So the more we do this, the more bonus armor we get for having a bunch of passives that complement that. So toughness, good. 3 levels and we can get our last Sacker rating somewhere. Extremis. So we could go with some more AoE, and that covers all the Pyromancer stuff. So far I like having Ulfar with me, but we'll have to level him later for his side quest anyway. So let's just focus on the priorities right now. More fellowship, or if we do willpower one more time, we get to 100. Grab our last navigator stuff. The more we grab, the more this scales up. So we will get fellowship passively. However, we should pick something that we kind of need right now. Okay, having movement on her is nice, and whenever we buff people, they also get the benefits of that movement, so we'll go with that. Our officer, Merc, could just spam fellowship. Let's see here. We picked all the generic stuff we can, I think. Agility, ballistic, fellowship. More willpower on an officer is not a bad idea, but maybe there's something we missed here and there. Does not appear to be the case. So we'll go with this. Okay. More ballistic, sure. So it becomes 9 instead of 8. I believe we also knocked out all the generic stuff that's useful. Unless demolition is also an option. Have an extra dodge also is good, since we picked, where was it? This right here. The more dodge we have, the more dodge difference between me and my target, the more damage I do. In increments of 5%, we get 1% more damage. But this also is a thing. 10 points of demolition gives me 5% more damage, so they work the same. If I bump the dodge, the demolition, we get more damage, to summarize. So how much? 7? That's not gonna give me 10, so I'm gonna go with nimble then. We give him more intelligence, so his other stuff scales. Right. Check any... Oh, he has an option to use Aldari weapons. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna cancel this. I want to check something. Do any of the Aldari weapons count as plasma? We have picked some quite cool stuff. Toxic. What about the heavy type? Single shot? Yeah. Alright, that's unfortunate. We go back to leveling. So we did intelligence. And... could go with nimble. No. It will not die, so he has more health, maybe. He's doing well on tech use, however, some Xenos. Or Xenos. Might be nice. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of things to do with them, really. All that remains is the melee stuff, and he's mostly like a secondary marksman that debuffs as a priority and then kind of attacks. So we'll go with more Xenos. Okay. Wolfar, because I intend to play with him more. We could do more toughness. Naturally his strength will scale with it because he has the peak condition. Something we will pick on our main also. So when he gets his unique weapon, this will be nice, but for now this might be cool. However, let's see if there's any generic stuff that might be more ballistic, more toughness. Or maybe we missed a few heavy gunner stuff. Okay. Reduces the required strength of... Nah. He has a shit ton of strength. He's fine. Yeah, okay. We'll just go with toughness. Alright. More toughness it is. Alright, my good people. You've been very patient with me. And I appreciate it. We're gonna have to stop here. A lot of the old solar systems in this chapter added new content, so we're gonna have to look around, visit them. So chapter 4 is not very long necessarily, but it is lengthy a little bit. You know, it's just a lot of stuff to do. And then 5 is a straightforward thing, pretty linear. So we're almost done with the journey. It's been a blast so far, so yeah. With that, thank you for watching, sticking around. Hope you enjoyed. Learned something maybe. And yeah, as always, a pleasure to stream. Have a great rest of your evening, and ciao.